I started traveling in 2018. Right after we recorded Mugadan, I packed my life up into a Land Rover Defender with a roof tent on top, a solar panel, fridge, and all of my instruments and my recording studio. And I just started driving. And the plan was to write music in immersion of a place. I have so much inspiration from home, from Zimbabwe, and from the surroundings, from what I'm experiencing, what I'm eating, what I'm seeing, who I'm speaking with, who I'm learning from. And I wanted to do that on the road and see as much of the continent as possible. So I started in Cape Town and drove up the east coast of Africa. And then across, I did an east to west crossing from ocean to ocean, and a lot of southern Africa as well. And I lived in that car for 2 years, and I wrote and recorded Pamwe and A Girl from Harare.
Wow. So that was just you by yourself?
So I was with a filmmaker called Mark Nielsen, who filmed a lot of my music videos, and we worked on the documentary A Girl from Harare.
All right. Okay. So that's, by the way, that's like 25,000
Yes.
kilometers or something like that.
Exactly.
10 countries.
Yeah.
And you're talking about like 2 years. Like that's incredible.
Yeah.
And I think, I want to just stop here because I think sometimes it's very important for artists to also kind of say, I feel a lot of artists say, how do you write songs?
Yeah.
And part of that is getting life experience, right?
100%.
Part of that is doing things like that.
100%.
Exploring.
And I think it's an interesting thing because you don't really know when creativity is going to hit you and how it's going to hit you. But when you start to recognize how it does, it's really about putting time and energy and prioritizing moments like that. And so for me, writing music in a place that inspires me, around inspiring people, and for me, nature is a really big one. So I recognized that, and I thought, you know what? I love to travel. I love this continent. I want to see as much as possible, and I want to write a lot of good music. And I want to learn from musicians and experience how rhythm has traveled and how, like, what instruments are getting played and how things change and differ. I've really experienced how music can break down boundaries and how it can break down barriers of, surface level things. One of those is how it can travel across borders, and how no matter who you are, what language you speak, what age you are, what your background is, you can connect with music. Sometimes even if you don't know what the words are saying, just 100%. A melody. Totally. And I wanted to experience that. And so, I lived in the car and I wrote music, and a lot of the big moments in my career so far, people don't actually know, have been whilst I've been on the road. Mugadan was released while I was sitting in a little cafe in Bagamoyo, Tanzania, and I was trying to connect to the internet to watch the release of this music video. Yeah. Titungamire was released when I was in the foothills of the Drakensberg Mountains, again, trying to connect to some internet to make sure that I was getting it all right, Ndinewe was filmed in 10 countries across the whole experience, across the whole journey. I think it's been a massive part of my story has actually been on the road.